Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is January 14, 2020. Today, the S&P 500 had another interesting day. In this S&P 500 analysis, I will show you what the market internals are telling us, so you will not be misled into the wrong conclusion on where this market is headed. So stay tuned. Before I continue, I'd like to ask you to take a moment to click the thumbs up to help me promote and share this video on YouTube. And you have not subscribed to this channel, click on the subscribe. Thank you for your support. Now let's go and take a look at the S&P 500 price action before I show you the internals. So here, looking at the S&P 500 daily price chart, you can see that the S&P 500 closed down today, but it's still within this price channel. Remember we said we expect a little bit of more consolidation before it pushes through, come up to this 3,900 level. And if this thing continue to pull back, then we're basically expected to come down to somewhere around this 3720 area. And that would also in confluence with the bottom of this channel here. These are the major moves. Just a reminder, these are the major move of this particular flag here. Right? So this bull flag that I use to project some major move here. And we're still looking at this 3,900 area as the next target level. And here's the NASDAQ 100. You can see the NASDAQ 100 is also pulling back. And again, we're essentially looking for this thing to continue to push up into this area here at this 13,500. Essentially going up against this trend line here. I think a lot of people probably looking at this as a wedge and looking for a breakdown. But again, I'm basically looking for this projected move up here. And these are the projected move target level that I'm looking at. If it pull back, we basically looking at this 12,439 area. And here's the Dow Jones Industrial. Once again, the Dow Jones Industrial was working on a new high. Then it pulled back. Once again, it failed to close at a new closing high. And here's the interesting part. Remember the Dow Jones Transportation made a new high a couple of days ago. And once again, it made another closing high today. So that kind of gives us a clue that very likely the Dow Jones Industrial will come up and make a new high in the near term. So keep on watching for the Dow Jones Industrial to make another high. And here's the Russell 2000. Russell 2000 continue to push higher and getting close to this 2,200 level. Remember, we're basically targeting this 2177 here. And today it got up to the 2164.3. So it's getting close to this 2177. Now, if you were just looking at the price action of the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial, and the NASDAQ, then you would probably conclude that, hey, this market is flipping over because he's seeing all these reversal. Well, let's go and take a look at the internal and see what the internal actually telling us, what the market is actually trying to do. Let's start off looking at the up-down volume. Before we do that, just look at the S&P 500. The S&P 500 actually closed down 14 point, a little bit over 14 point, or close to 0.4%. And if we look at the up-down volume ratio, the up-down volume ratio is almost 3 times more up volume than down volume with a market that is down 14 point. And that's a pretty positive sign. Then also you look at the advanced decline. The advancer actually led the decliner by more than 1,200 issues. It closed at 1,267. So once again, that is very positive. So for a market that is down, you would not expect there would be more up volume than down volume, and neither would you expect there would be more advancing issue than declining issue, especially not at this level, like over 1,200. And then we're looking at the New York Stock Exchange new 52-week high over a new 52-week low. So you could see that today there were 350 more new high than new low. So again, with a market that is down, you would not expect to have this number of issue or stock making new highs. And with the cumulative advanced decline line, you can see that the cumulative advanced decline, the AD line, continue to move higher and make another new high, while the S&P 500 closed with a lower low. So that again is showing us that there are a lot of internal strength. The advancing issue is continue to push the internal market higher, and the S&P 500 closed lower because of some of the stock that is heavily weighted is being depressed, and that is holding the index down. And here, looking at the NASDAQ market, we are seeing the similar type of internal strength. You see the NASDAQ 100 actually closed down 0.58% or almost 75 points. And we see that the up-down volume ratio, there were actually 1.8 times more up volume than down volume. And the advanced decline, the advancer led the decliner by 1,625. So with a market that is down, you have more up volume than down volume, and you have more advancing issue than declining issue. So that once again show you how strong the market is internally, right? It's just the index, because this is only based on 100 stock, and depending on what stock is being depressed or being sold, that is depressing the index down. So once again, this could be misleading if you just look at the index, but you did not look at these internal to see are the internals getting weaker or not. And here, look at the new high, new low from the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ actually have over 600 more new 52-week high than 52-week lows. So that is very impressive. We haven't seen this kind of level of new high over new low for a long, long time. So this is very positive. So once again, if you look at these internal, it will give you a different picture of how strong the market is internally. And here again, on the cumulative AD line, you see the cumulative AD line in the NASDAQ is also pushing into a new high, while the NASDAQ 100 is coming down, almost making a lower low. So once again, this picture is telling you that there are a lot of stock internally pushing this market up. So don't be misled by looking at the price action only, because you have to look at these internal to see how strong or how weak the market really is. Now, if we go and take a look at the VIX, see the VIX, although it came up a little bit and it closed at a little bit over 23, it's actually closed at 23.25. That is still relatively low down at this 20 and 30 level, this zone here. So although we've been saying that the market participant is not being really fearful or panicky, but they are being very cautious. So they are still in a cautious mode. But also, you look at the put call ratio, it's down below this 0.5. It's actually sitting at 0.44 area, 0.45. So there are still a lot of call buying than put buying, right? So again, this market is still in a risk on mode. So again, when you take a look at all these internal and the sentiment, it tells you a different picture than what the price action is telling you. So let's go and take a look at what this stock is actually depressing the market. It's the good old Fang stock, right? The Fang Plus stock. You see the Dow Jones Transportation actually made a new high, and the Dow Jones Industrial closed down almost 69 points, and the SP500 closed down 14 points, and the NASDAQ 100 closed down 75 points, almost 75 points. But the Russell is up 43 points. Look at the Fang Index. The Fang Index closed down 27 points, 0.43%. Facebook down 0.38%. Apple 1.5%. Amazon 1.2%. Netflix 1.3%. Google almost 1%. Twitter 3%. Tesla 1.1%. Nvidia 2.45%. Now, we did get Alibaba kind of got a little bit of a dead cat bounce at some 3.26%, and Baidu 5%. So you can see all the Fang stock is down, and then those plus, the Fang Plus stock, like the Twitter, the Tesla, and Nvidia is also down. So that is what's depressing the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, because a lot of these stock is in those indexes. All right, so pay attention to the internal and pay attention to what is, moving the index. Don't just look at the price action. Now let's take a look at the market profile. You remember we talked about this poor high yesterday, and we're saying that eventually this poor high is going to be tagged and be taken out. So you can see that today the price action has exceeded this poor high and took out this poor high. Now also the other thing is this all-time high that was made back on January 8th in the after hours still hasn't been tagged yet. So that is also outstanding, and that kind of gives us a clue that eventually we could see the E-mini S&P 500 come up during the regular trading hour session. We'll take out this level here. Now the other thing is we could see that today it also put in a poor high. Let me zoom this in. So you can see there is a poor high up here at the high of today, which is 38.16. So we could expect that to be taken out. Could be tomorrow or it could be sometime next week. And also there is a little bit of a single print zone here around this 38.01 area. So we could expect that price action could come up and fill this single print area. All right, so, and if we go and take a look at the volume profile, the volume profile is telling us interesting clue or tidbit. You see this pinch off here, this cutoff. So basically, this kind of gives us a clue based on the volume cutoff here. This could have been a high of the day, and which is also the IB high, which was made in the first 60 minutes of the trading session, the regular hour trading session. And the other thing to note is this right here. This is not a good low. So we could call this a poor low in terms of the volume profile, because there are still a little bit of acceptance here. So we could see price to come down and below this low here, and possibly even come down here, because there is this poor low that need to be tagged as well. So wouldn't be surprised to see it to come down to somewhere around this 37.80, 83, 82 area to clean up these lows here before it resume back up and possibly go and address that all-time high made in the after hour. These are the profile that also give us a clue in addition to the market internals. So if you find this video to be informative and useful, be sure to smash that thumbs up. Help me promote this video and share this video on YouTube. Thank you for watching and stay safe.